120 degrees.
There. And we're going to send it up to 1055, I think.
1055, right.
Okay. And we'll see what happens. So it's now 10:40. Be another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then we'll see how our tests go. Then once we've got these out, we'll be able to get all the others glazed. Or
and
we could put an overglaze on and see what happens then.
What's an overglaze? Another coat?
Another glaze on top of that glaze.
So I'm just going to smother it.
Yeah.
With sawdust.
Yeah, but mind your hands on the hot.
Will it flame?
Yeah.
It will.
Chest hairs.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, careful.
I'm more bothered than that.
Highly flammable, those chest hairs.
Right, so let's see what it looks like. Starting to shine, you see there? Yeah.
Handle on the back as well.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Here we go.
Oh, that's scared. Should I be?
No, don't be scared. Okay. Oh, wow, they're great colours. We're going to change it.
One of the most amazing things are when they start herding sea toads. They eat little red sea
That one.
And of course the toxins in the
I'm good at the smell.
That one.
have a chemical
Oh, I think I'm standing in the wrong place here.
Sawdust.
It doesn't set on fire then?
No, I was thinking that as well.
Is it the lack of air?
That one.
Have I downloaded?
There.
I don't know.
All right. Here we are. We've got it on.
What about now you've got it right?
Okay.
The sawdust takes away the
Just leave it now.
takes away the oxygen from it.
Yeah, don't overwork the pudding, baby.
Sorry, but I'm just kind of...
There we are. They're all right. They are.
This is all cigarettes.
There.
It's a chemical reaction.
And we just leave them now.
How long for?
Yeah, okay.
10 minutes, quarter of an hour.
Nice.
And then when we see what they're like, then people can decide what.
So did you number the bottom of the pots?
Yes, but
There's a drawing as well.
but because they don't know where the numbers will come out, that's the ones. So the cylinder is number one.
Can I take a picture of you with that, please?
So, because they're red hot, the sawdust starts to catch fire. And in catching fire, it robs the atmosphere around the glazes of oxygen and reverts the metal oxides back to their metals. So copper oxide, which normally is green in a glaze, reverts back to copper, which is red. So you get greens to reds, and we should get that on one of these pots.
And that sawdust never sets on fire
It was on fire.
because you cover it with,
I covered it with enough.
and so it hasn't got enough oxygen.
Yeah. So we don't want it. We don't want the flames. We want the smoke. The fact that the immediate area around the glaze is robbed of oxygen, and the smoke is all without oxygen. There's no oxygen in the smoke.
Does the time you smoke it make a difference as well?
And the type of sawdust.
What's that sawdust?
Well, it depends on the size of, and on the. This is oak sawdust. This is oak.
And if you used a different sort of wood, you'd get a
Then we'd
different...
probably get a different effect. Yeah.
And the
People who fire with wood entirely, their kilns, swear that they get different effects from different woods. Yeah. And some people will say they'll only fire with oak. And other people, like the Japanese potter who I'm friends with, only fires with softwood, because he reckons that produces better glazes. But other potters will swear that that's rubbish, that their combination of woods is the best that you could possibly get. It's a matter of what you want, really. There's no one rule. But I've never really fired with wood, so I wouldn't know what the effect is at all.
When we use grass,
Yeah.
that had a different effect to the sawdust. I don't know whether it's because it doesn't burn as straight away. So maybe
Or perhaps it burns at a different temperature.
Or the moisture.
well, there's moisture in the grass, so it's not catching fire straight away. So maybe the pot's not getting reduced as quickly.
These are oxygen slower.
Yeah, so it's probably getting reduced
Got
more
number
quickly
2.
in the
Is
sawdust.
that one?
And in
Yeah.
wet grass, it's getting
It would
reduced
appear.
more slowly.
That would appear.
So that's what you used before, like a barrow full of wet grass?
Yeah, for wet grass. Yeah.
They're the colours.
We don't.
We can use anything. I think anything that burns you can use.
Stir them up first. Don't mix up the cups.
Is it okay to get it on a hand?
Probably.
That's all it's about. It's not about producing the most perfect, fantastic, but knowing that if you do this and carefully next time, you know, and if we, because people should learn that way rather than this is what happens to this is what happens to this is what, you know, don't touch it, this is what happens to it. It's so useless, but much better getting people to learn by playing.
That's not weird. That's not
I think.
That's not the right. We're not going to.
Oh, yeah, that one's a high temperature.
right. So we can do a separate batch on that.
We could,
can't
yeah, we could try it, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Take it up to 11.
Or we could put that on top of one of the low firing glazes.
Which one's a higher temperature?
If we put the higher temperature one on top of the lower one will be melting and bursting through.
Ah, so you get holes.
So you'll get like your favour pots.
Yes.
The black melts before
Right.
the top, and so it starts. The bottom one's trying to get through the top,
Yeah.
but the top won't let it, holding it in, and then suddenly the bottom one says, I can break through, and it goes bang, and it starts coming spots, and then it says, I'm still holding it, and it says, no, I'm going to come again, and then it starts to appear more, and it starts going lines, and then eventually, if you take it higher, the bottom one comes bursting right through, and they subsume into one flat glaze.
Interesting. Well, let's try that. Yeah.
Why not?
We'll try it.
So if your top glaze, Josh, melts at a higher temperature, it holds the bottom one in, and it stops it bursting through. The bottom one's melted,
How's your glaze face?
but it's contained, and it's trying to break out. It's shouting to break out.
What's your preference, Mark?
Probably this one. The middle one. I kind of like the. I really like the colours here.
It's amazing how it changes, isn't it? Beautiful.
You don't have to
Sorry?
put it back up.
Beautiful how it changes.
Absolutely, I think it's absolutely stunning.
Also matches your t-shirt.
Very much.
That's obviously why you like it.
That's the real reason, of course. No, I think it's absolutely fascinating. It's completely and utterly new to me, so I'm quite invigorated and stunned by it.
Bristol blue.
I'm quite keen on mixing them now.
It'll come out. I reckon just to leave everything. The thing is, you'll get
And there we are, of course we're lucky, we've had lots of sorrow in just fantastic, absolutely magnificent.
Clay we use is a very open textured clay. It's based on a fire clay, and it will resist incredible amount of thermal shock. If it didn't, it would crack, because you can't go putting things in hot kilns and pulling them out red hot and it not be resistant to thermal shock. And probably the best way of explaining that is if you imagine my fingers are molecules of clay. If the clay body, the clay that the pot is made of, is very tight like that, then when they hit the heat, there's no room for the molecules to juggle around, and so they go bang. Now, if you can devise a clay mix, which has got molecules which are very loose, like that, then as it hits the heat, there's room for these molecules to jog around and talk to each other without cracking, and so they settle, and there's room for them to move. And so you devise a body, a mix, which has got usually a fire clay base, and then throw in some sand and throw in some already fired clay powdered down, and maybe some talc and bits and pieces like that, and it creates an open fired body, and that will, on the whole, resist thermal shock, and that's what this clay is.
So there's no way you could do that with earthenware or...
You couldn't do this with an earthenware body. No. Not a normal earthenware body, no. It would have to, it's too tight a molecule mix. Yeah.
Of course, you biscuit fired that first, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we biscuit fire it, usually to about 1,000. So it's very porous. And when you dip the porous ware in the glaze, the body absorbs the moisture, the water, from the glaze, and a skin of chemicals is left on the pot. And then put that in the kiln, and it's that skin of chemicals which melts to form the glass.
Head it forward.